Welcome back, Pahrump. I'm sitting here with LD, a patient that we've worked on and had great success with over the last year and a half. We were talking about his x-rays and what we seen when we shot the x-rays on him and how bad the structure in his low back was.
Let me put that in a manner that they're going to pick up on right quick, because everybody knows what two beer cans look like stacked on each other. And if you take that top beer can and raise it just enough and slide it sideways, we're talking what, 1/4 of an inch on my spine?
Yeah, maybe that much.
And if you move that top beer can over about 1/4 of an inch, folks, that's the way my spine looks. Now, when you misalign those two pieces, if we go back to the salmon can, that backbone in the salmon's the same thing we got, only we're bigger.
Yeah.
And when you slide that over, all of a sudden, all those nerves in there, in that spinal cord, are not happy. And my nerves, when I went to see him January 8th of last year, my nerves were extremely unhappy all the way down to the right foot, the right lower back, right hip, right leg, right foot. And at times in my life when that would flare up, I'd be walking down the sidewalk and the right leg would quit, and the next thing you do is pick yourself up off the ground because the leg just quits working.
We got Louis on the phone, LD. Hey, Louis, what's up?
Hey, Doc, I got a question now. I see they got these, what do you call them, inversion machines where you lay on them and they turn you upside down.
Yes.
Do those things actually work to, like, straighten out your back problems? Because I always wondered about that.
Yeah, they're actually very, very functional for individuals up to about 45 or 50. They're functional for people over that, but the problem that you have there is as we grow older, you have to worry about hanging upside down, having a stroke. And that, so people that have them, most people that have them and use them swear by them. But if you have them, I would suggest that you don't go over 60 degrees and that you get to 60 degrees. Now that will traction your back. That's no different than what we're doing. It's a constant pull, where ours is more of a milking. It pulls for 30 seconds, 40 seconds, then lets off. So we're actually milking the joints, for lack of another term, the facets and the disc in the low back to bring in fluid and to push out the toxins and stuff out of the low back. As LD talked about, one of the problems was the sciatica down into his foot. And he described it as a beer can that was shifted. Well, it shifted and it rotated and it actually pinched on the L5 nerve root coming out of his back. Now that nerve root runs down your butt, down the back of your leg, around your knee and the outside of your calf.
Painful.
Yeah, if you pinch it really bad, and it's chronic. It's worse than a bad toothache. I've had people in tears with it. It's been so bad. But back to your question, Louis, those traction devices, they are effective. You just got to be really careful with them as we get a little bit older, because all that blood rushing into your brain, you don't want to cause more problems than you have.
Yeah, because when I was younger, and I still exercise a little bit, but when I was younger, part of my exercise routine was I used to do a handstand up against a wall. Okay? And I used to do almost like a push-up with my feet up against a wall, and according to what they said back then, it stretched everything in my back. But from what you said, when you're talking about people in their 40s and 50s, well, I'm over 50 also, so I assume that you're recommending me not to do that, because that may cause another problem.
Well, I would go get a release. I would get a release from your doctor. Make sure, that you've just had a physical, that the last thing that you need, Louis, because I know how old you are, is a stroke. You would not do well with a stroke, Louis. So.
Well, okay. Well, I appreciate your honesty, and you answered my question.
Thanks,
and,
Louis.
You guys have a good show and have a good night.
Thank you, Louis.
Thank you for answering my question. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay.
Back to where we were, though, talking about the pain going down LD's leg. This is all biomechanics. This is like working on an engine. You know, it's just knowing the human body, understanding the muscles, understanding the pathology of what's going on, and then working with that pathology in such a way to help the body heal. The one thing that our maker did when he put us together and designed us was he did a heck of a job. The only thing that doesn't get better is cancer. Everything else gets better. If you cut yourself, you know, no matter how deep, if you've got to go get stitches and you leave it alone and keep that wound clean, it will heal. Same thing with the broken bone. It takes 0.8 of a second to break a bone, you know, and it might take 8 weeks for it to heal, but it will heal. And the amazing thing is, it heals stronger than it was before you broke it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So
Kind of like my welds, huh?
like your wells? I don't know. So over the course of treatment with LD, we did move him over with the decompression. We moved him over and did some deep tissue trigger point release. Hi, John. I'll get back to that after we visit with John. Go ahead, John.
Yes. My equilibrium.
Hey, John, we have 1 minute left. Could you hold the line until we come back? Because I want to hear your question.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be back in a minute, folks. Thank you.